Red TV, we're good here.
Good evening. I'm Ruth Charles, your moderator for this event of the general election for Winona County Commissioners 3rd and 4th District candidates. Our 2020 forum co-sponsors are the Advocacy Center of Winona, AAUW Winona Branch, Home and Community Options, Project Find, Winona Occupational Rehabilitation Services, WORC, and Winona State University Department of Social Work. Due to the COVID-19 national pandemic, we are providing this forum via government access channels and a Zoom option. The general public will not be in attendance. We thank the City of Winona for allowing us to hold this educational forum in the council chambers and the use of staff and technical assistance with this forum. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan, volunteer organization organized at the local, state, and national level to encourage citizens to become educated and participate in government. While we as a league do study and take stands on issues, we do not endorse or support political parties, candidates, or tell voters how to answer the referendum questions. We will read statements from candidates who are unable to attend the forum. This evening, we welcome Winona County Commissioner candidates from 3rd District, Steve Jacob, 4th District, Greg Olson, and Craig Zekas. This forum is intended to provide voters with information so they can make an educated choice on the ballot. The views expressed in this educational forum are those from the candidates. We do encourage our members as individuals, as we encourage each of you to get involved in your community. The League of Women Voters Winona participation policy and ground rules were provided to the candidates with their invitation to attend. This is a live cable TV broadcast with a Zoom option. The public was invited to submit questions for the candidates through the League of Women Voters Winona email site and its Facebook page. Question sorters from the League of Women Voters and its co-sponsors viewed the questions, and the League of Women Voters moderator has a final selection of the questions to the candidates. This forum is being taped, may not be edited, and must be broadcast in its entirety and in accord with all FCC regulations. Candidates may share via Facebook the taped forum in its entirety. The League of Women Voters never edits or takes snippets from the forum tapes to share through any public media. The taping is for the public to view in its entirety to assist in their ballot choices. The League of Women Voters will determine the questions to be asked, and attempts in good faith will be made to cover all areas of interest expressed in advance of the forum by the public. The candidates will not know the questions in advance. Questions that are hostile, partisan, embarrassing, inappropriate, or of a personal nature will not be asked. Questions on similar topics may be grouped. All questions will become the property of the League of Women Voters. Our timekeeper this evening is Wendy Draves. Candidates will strictly observe the time limits on responses. The timekeeper will hold up cards to indicate that time is about to expire. Once the stop card is displayed, candidate will stop at the end of the current sentence. Opening statements will be 2 minutes, questions will be 1 minute, and their closing statement will be 1 minute. The candidates have agreed to allow me to address them by their first names, and we would like to begin with opening statements, and our first speaker will be Steve Jacobs from the 3rd District. Welcome.
Thank you. And my last name is Jacob without an S.
Jacob, got it. Sorry about that.
Well, surprising how many people get that wrong. First of all, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for providing this very valuable service to our community. And my name, as the moderator mentioned, Steve Jacob. I'm a family farmer up in Whitewater Township. I'm married to my wife, Mary, for 32 years. We have 4 children and 3 grandchildren, and we really enjoy our little slice of Winona County and Whitewater Township. It's like say, it's been both humbling and a real privilege to have served as Western Winona County's District 3 Commissioner for the past 8 years. And where there certainly have been divisive issues that we've needed to work through, there have been far more issues that our community has come together on to get the very best results we can for our citizenry. Over the years that I've served in this office, I've remained committed to the core values that I originally ran on all those years ago, some of which include supporting property rights, stopping the expansion of government. I worked vigorously to fight for lower taxes. I worked to eliminate unnecessary government regulations, meetings, and redundant organizations. I work to downsize the footprint of county government through my initiatives to consolidate our county office buildings. I support agriculture of all types and sizes. I work to bring infrastructure such as broadband coverage and a user-friendly ATV ordinance to our rural areas. I remain committed to supporting grassroots government through regular attendance of our local township and city council meetings. I work at our Association of Minnesota Counties, AMC meetings, to bring local issues to light at our state capitol. And lastly, after 8 years, I'm proud to say that Winona County is finally debt-free. I look forward to answering any questions and sharing philosophies this evening and continuing to work on behalf of our community to find the best solutions we can for current and future Winona County citizens.
Thank you very much. Greg Olson from the 4th District.
Thank you to the league and to all the co-sponsors who make this event possible. My name is Greg Olson and I serve as your Winona County Commissioner for District 4. I am a Winona native and the youngest of 8 children, and I have raised 2 of my own. I'm proud of the contributions I have made as your commissioner in the last 12 years. Winona County has dedicated employees who continually go the extra mile to deliver services to the citizens of Winona. Through building consolidation, operational changes, and investments in programs and technology, we have experienced efficiencies envied by other counties. This year, I'm happy to report we have a preliminary levy with a 0% increase from last year. Despite the pandemic, we have all enjoyed a great summer in our county. The pandemic reminds us of the challenges we face in the years ahead. I am reminded that over my last 20 summers, some groundwater in rural Winona County has become unsafe to drink. Some aquifers, hundreds of feet deep, serving our rural residents, have been contaminated. Some have suggested we compromise on the protection of our greatest resource. I stand firm on protecting our bluffs and our groundwater. 100 summers from now, future generations will benefit from the actions we take today, or they will ask why we compromised on protecting the very thing that makes Winona County a great place to live. Statistically, I will live 22 more summers. I would be honored to spend the next 4 summers, at least the next 4 summers, serving District 4, and promise not to compromise on the protection of our resources. My name is Greg Olson, and I ask for your vote on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Zekas, 4th District.
Good evening, and thank you also to the League of Women Voters and their co-sponsors that are bringing tonight forward. I also want to take an opportunity to thank those who are listening in and offering the questions that we will be faced with tonight. Those questions often are guidelines for us as potential political leaders of the community to carry forth, to make forth decisions that will guide you more so than some of the main national ones that come publicly. My family has been in this county since 1925. My grandfather started a grocery store in Elba, just down the road from Altura. He migrated to Winona, where he opened up a confectionery store, and then moved down the street a little bit on Center to about a block and a half south of Cathedral School, where he opened up another grocery store. My father started a food service business in this community in 1948. I worked with him until 2004, at which time we sold the company. Since then, I have taken on the opportunity to develop a number of small businesses myself within the community, and I've been successful at that. I'm an Eagle Scout, and that has taught me how to deal with the conservation issues and citizenship that's needed in this country, or county, excuse me, and country. I will provide the leadership that this district and this county needs to continue to carry it forward so that those coming behind us will have what they need to enjoy the county. We are decreasing in numbers. We need to find a way to grow. And my opportunity at this point is to bring forth methods to help this county grow so that we have sustainability and we have future options for people to come to this county and enjoy it as much as I have and my family. If you put me on the board, you will get my family with me. 6 children, 6 spouses, 12 grandchildren, and we all work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates, for your opening statements. We are now ready for our first audience question, and our first question goes to Greg Olson from the 4th District. And the question is, what issue is most important to you as a candidate?
Currently, the most pressing issue will be our Winona County Jail. We are exploring options to make that a right-sized facility that will serve our taxpayers and the citizens of Winona County. That's going to be a pressing issue in the weeks and months and years ahead. So we look forward to working with my fellow commissioners and making sure that that facility is the best for our community.
Thank you. Craig Zekas from 4th District.
I would have a tendency to agree with what Mr. Olson is saying, that the jail is a big issue, and obviously we have to do something about it. The size that we need is what is questionable. The services that are going to be provided out of it is what we need to look at. Right now, we currently have approximately 17 incarcerated people in our county jail, and not quite so sure we need one for 100 at this point. But we do need options to take care of those that we are bringing to the facility. Of major concern to me is the growth that we have in our community and our county. And I would like to see opportunities brought forth that allow this county to grow in a regulated way so that we don't become cumbersome to each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Jacob, 3rd District.
Thank you. The most important issue that my constituents remind me about is the need for the reduction of and relief of the tax burden. So of course, the jail is going to parlay into that. I've been, so concerned for the last 8 years to try to finally eliminate that county debt, or the envy of many other counties to not carry any debt at this time. I've asked to bring forward the idea of looking at some type of budget on the jail. How much money should we spend and what can the tax payer afford? And it's been met from the county board majority with, we're not going to look at it from the taxpayer's budget standpoint. We're going to look at it from the standpoint of what all the services are we need, and it'll be an expansion, which I believe in the climate that we're currently in. We don't need to expand the jail. We need to look to where Wabasha has led in the last 10 years. And we don't want to go down that same road and be in the same boat as Wabasha County.
Thank you. Our next question we'll start with Craig Zekas from the 4th District. How can you support efforts for the city and county governments to work together? Be specific.
Well, I'm sure there's a number of ways that we can be working together. And if I'm not mistaken, that was an issue that was brought up in the city council questions as well. And I think this is an opportunity for the city and the county to come together and find ways that they can collaborate and provide services for the county as a whole, but without duplicating each other. And it would require us looking in to see what that might fall into, whether it be social services or whether it be in some other factor. But at some point, we need to work together, not just the city and the county, but all of the communities within the county. If we can come together more often and create a better county for it, that should be our goal.
Thank you. Steve Jacob, 3rd District.
Sure. The question was vague in that it didn't say which city. I represent St. Charles, Rolling Stone, Alba, Altura. There's 16 precincts within my district. And how I do that is I go to each one of these meetings at least once per year, more often if it's called upon or that they need me to come more often. But I keep that line of communication open and we work together. And the county is more than the city of Winona. So we need to make sure that we're looking out for small towns such as Rolling Stone, St. Charles, Alba, Altura, Utica. There's more than the city of Winona.
Thank you. Greg Olson, 4th District.
Repeat the question, please.
How can you support efforts for the city and county governments to work together? Be specific.
Just recently, when the talk of social workers in the City of Winona Police Department came up. I contacted the city manager and put him in touch with our city administrator, or our county administrator, and we talked about how we can collaborate with Winona County. We have 22 social workers that are 300 feet away from the Winona Police Department. The county also runs the social services program. Additionally, we have a community crisis response team that is through Hiawatha Valley Mental Health. So I think by working together and collaboratively, we can save all the taxpayers some money and provide better services to our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will start with Steve Jacobs from the 3rd District. What changes to county government brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic should be kept to increase our work with public health? Do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah, please repeat the question.
What changes to county government brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic should be kept to increase our work with public health?
I think we should stay the course that we've set. I think administration has addressed those issues. And I guess I'm not exactly understanding the question. Is the question, what should we do differently from where we've been or what we've done? Or I think the county has handled it appropriately, and we should stay the course we're on.
Thank you. Greg Olson, 4th District.
So the county has responded to the pandemic. We've, for the most part, kept our county services, open to the public in a safe manner. We have several county employees who are working from home, working remotely. That has shown to have less impact on the county government building. As we consolidated the county government building, we did create a crowded building in some areas, and now some employees are allowed to work from home and remotely and still serve the public in a good manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Greg Zekas.
Well, hopefully there will be a vaccine that will help things along the way here shortly. And it's my hope that it'll bring more people back to the places that take care of the county. If there's a function that can be performed off-site, we should probably continue doing that, take a look at it. If we can reduce some of our facilities and the need for our facilities by doing that, but to keep in contact with, to be available to keep in contact with the taxpayers, I think is very important. And sometimes that one-on-one is more important than a screen or a telephone call.
Thank you. Our next question, number 4, will be with Greg Olson from the 4th District. What are your plans to maintain clean water or drinkable water?
Well, the Winona County has been asked this on several times. When we talked about the frac sand mining and the impact that could have on our groundwater, as we have a resource that we use now with our we're doing the river watershed and all the watersheds, one plan, putting that together so that we can come up with a common solution to protect our watersheds in the county. With the impact that we've had on our rural wells and some of our aquifers, we are seeing a greater demand for deeper wells to go down and get into more layers to get clean water. In my lifetime, we used to be able to dip a glass in the creek and take a glass of clean water and drink it. We can't do that anymore. And we have to work to maintain what we have and make it better. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Zekas, 4th District.
Could you please repeat that question?
What are your plans to maintain clean water or drinkable water?
Well, first of all, I know the groundwater has been an issue within Winona County, as it has been with many other counties in the state of Minnesota. The last information I received indicated that our groundwater, our wells were still contaminated much higher than many other counties. And I asked why. What has been done to eliminate that? I am not a water person. I don't know the workings of the water outside the fact that what goes through our water control systems here in the city and possibly throughout the county are apparently doing a good job, because I don't know of anybody that's becoming ill from the water. I prefer clean water. I don't think anybody out there wants to have water that isn't clean. But if we need steps to go forward and to develop programs that will clear up some of these problems, then I think we need to address them and focus on them. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Jacob, 3rd District.
Thank you. So I do sit on 5 different water boards within Winona County. Main thing we need to do is support our SWCD, and it's lately been brought forward about healthy Lake Winona and the contamination in Lake Winona. We need to understand that this is everybody's problem, not just farmers' problems. Farmers certainly can be a great solution to this problem, but we all need to watch what we put on our lawns. We need to watch what we put on our fields. Farmers are scrutinized, and it's continually noted that up in the Utica, Lewiston area, that the wells have to be drilled deeper. Well, that happens to be an area where the Lewiston treatment ponds vanished. So we need to figure out where the real problem is and not be pointing fingers strictly at farmers. We all need to do the right thing. And the opportunities are there for us to work together, not to point fingers at farmers. Farmers are working hard to address these issues.
Thank you. Our next question will start with Craig Zekas from the 4th District, and this is a longer one. The Army Corps of Engineers has requested approvals to transport sand from their dredge disposal site on the Mississippi River near Homer to an inactive quarry on the County Road 15. This will result in 600 to 1,000 sand trucks daily crossing the adjacent heavily traveled rail line onto Highway 61, turning onto County Road 15. The sand transport will create extremely dangerous rail, Highway 61, and County Road 15 intersection crossings. For the 150 residents on County Road 15, it will be hazardous accessing our properties. I understand that the Winona Port Authority would welcome the sand for beneficial purposes. What is your position on this issue?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I have heard a little bit of it, and I have read some of it in the past. And we do need to keep our rivers open. We do need to keep the Mississippi open to allow the traffic to travel down it, and the grains and the services it provides. The sand that is pulling away from it needs to go someplace. And I believe there's other options that have been presented, and the Port Authority being one of them. It needs a strong consideration of where we dump this. We certainly don't want to put people's homes or lives in hazard because of all the excessive traffic that can occur. So if there are other options open, we need to pursue them. We need to discuss this a little bit deeper and find a solution that's going to please everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Jacob, 3rd District.
Thank you. Those numbers are highly inflated. I sit on the Planning Commission, and the numbers was 200 to 300, not 600 to 1,000. And I think we saw in Wabasha County where they had proposed to put, the Army Corps of Engineers proposed to put sand on a farm, and that took a long time to play out. And as County Commissioner, my job is to listen to all the concerns of all people of all sides. And after all the information is in, then I'll make my decision. But I'm not taking a position other than, I took my vote at Planning Commission level. It's going to come to the county board. I'll take my vote at that level. New information becomes available routinely and regularly, and I want to hear it all. And what started out in Wabasha certainly wasn't what ended up with what we ended up with. So we don't know how this is going to play out, but this is part of the process, and I think the process works. So I'm going to say the process.
Thank you. Greg Olson from the 4th District.
The sand pile outside of Homer came to our attention when the Army Corps of Engineers wanted to expand it. We had several citizens from Homer that overlooked the river that came and expressed their concern over the sand pile blocking their view of the river. The Corps has been looking for solutions, and it's all a cost per mile to transport it. They look for the most efficient way and the closest method to move it. We do have a rock quarry that is located on Highway 15 that is part of the reclamation effort, is to bring that sand and fill that quarry back in. So we are going to be working with the citizens and seeing what's the best method to and timeliness to get that sand moved at the best cost per mile, the lowest cost per mile, as we all pay the taxes to move that sand. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question, we'll start with Steve Jacob from the 3rd District. The county is planning a new jail. Do you have recommendations for the planning group? What options are needed in our community for public safety?
Yeah, I have voted that we need to do something other than sunsetting our jail and not having any facility. I believe that a much smaller solution, we need to be able to bring our inmates in. We can't afford on Friday to transport everyone out throughout the weekend to Wabasha or Houston counties. So we need to do something, but the option that's being supported by the board majority at this point is the number continues to inflate from start out at the first number I heard was 10 million, then I heard 15, then I heard 18, then I heard 20, then I heard 23. Now I've heard 25 million. So we need to approach it from a standpoint of a budget. And I've brought that forward, and our county board majority, Greg Olson, Chris Meyer, and Marie Cavesti will not hear Marcia Ward and I about approaching a budget on the jail. So that needs to be addressed.
Thank you. Greg Olson, 4th District.
So the new jail planning, started several years ago with a committee that was put forth with members that we were assigned by each county board member. They came up with a plan and a study to show what the best size facility would be. And also took into consideration the programs we have to eliminate our jail population and to better serve the people that may visit that facility. A lot of thought has been given into with the COVID population of our jail. And well, that is a temporary measure that we have in place that has deflated the demand on it. But we have to remember that currently we pay over $300,000 a year to transport or just to house 15 inmates in another facility. That's not the transportation cost, that's just to house them. So that cost can only go up. So the facility in Winona has to be the right size facility. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Speckes, 4th District.
I believe we talked a little bit about this in the August forum that was had. And at that time I said, I believe we need a jail that will handle the current problems that we have and possible expansion, and maybe even build it to the point where it could be added on in the future if needed. But I think more than anything, we need programs available that can take care of the people that don't necessarily need to be in jail and that are being kept there now because there's no place else to take them. And if we can develop a facility that can handle that, I think we can reduce the amount of beds that we need in a jail and come up with a reasonable budgetable figure that will handle the needs of the jail, the needs of the people who service the jail, and the county members who are paying for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question, we're starting with Greg Olson from the 4th District. Do you believe in climate change? If so, what have you done or what will you do to help curb its impact to protect our planet for the future generations?
I do believe the climate is changing, and we are seeing more and more frequently weather extremes that we've never experienced here before, at least in the record keeping that we have on file. Winona County has seen a lot of solar gardens going, community gardens. Farmers are exploring the use of their land for a 20-year period or 25-year period to plant a solar garden where their ground is The ground and the resource is still there, and currently they will plant solar panels. So we are seeing that happen frequently in Winona County, and I support that. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Zekas, 4th District.
Climate control is one of those combination of words that create either you're for or you're against. I think it's necessary that we take steps to preserve the climate that we have. As we move forward, people should have the option to possibly choose what method they want for heating and cooling their facilities or for electricity. I do see a number of the windmills up, and I do see the solar farms increasing. And if that's helping things out, then fine, we should move forward with it, but not force anybody to have to go that route. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Jacob, 3rd District.
Could you please repeat the question?
Certainly. Do you believe in climate change? If so, what have you done or what will you do to help curb its impact to protect our planet for future generations?
That's a good question. I definitely believe in climate change. Whether it's man-made or whether it's naturally occurring, I don't know how much of each to how to place that percentage. You don't ever hear about volcanoes that erupt underwater. 70% of the earth is covered by the ocean. And how does that contribute to climate change? How do naturally occurring forest fires contribute to climate change? So to me, how it occurs doesn't matter. We should just always do the right thing. And if you drive by the end of my driveway, you'll see that I'm a conservation farmer. I practice no-till farming, contour farming. I do the right thing at every corner. We should all do the right thing at every corner, whether the problem is man-made or naturally occurring. I don't think really matters, but I feel it's inappropriate for me to tax the Winona County citizens to try to solve a national or global problem. That's beyond the scope of the Winona County tax burden.
Thank you. Our next question will start with Craig Zekas from the 4th District. How would you reach out and represent Winona County regarding township issues if elected?
Could you repeat the last part
Yes.
of the question again, please?
How would you reach out and represent Winona County regarding township issues if elected?
Again, as I mentioned in the August forum, although my representation is for District 4, my responsibility is to the county as a total. And I envisioned at that time working to bring both the rural part of the county and the city part of the county together. And if reaching out to the township and offering services that we have that could be used by them is one method of doing it, then that's something I would do. I would certainly look at building a collaboration with the townships in an effort to help them sustain themselves and become the community they want to become. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Jacob, 3rd District.
Yeah, I'll continue to do exactly what I've been doing. I think I'm the most active commissioner the county's seen in a long time with respect to attending local township meetings and township association meetings. And I would certainly look to the other two candidates for help with that. I very seldom have seen Commissioner Olson at any of the township officers meetings, and I would carry that farther to the Association of Minnesota Counties. It's important that our county is represented at the state level, not just the township level. And Commissioner Olson has been entirely absent from day one through my 8 years that I've never seen him at any of those Association of Minnesota County meetings. So I'd continue doing exactly what I'm doing, representing us at the township and at the association. And I would look to either one of the candidates for help with that in the future.
Thank you. Greg Olson, 4th District.
Yeah, Winona County, we reach out routinely to the townships. Just recently with our CARES Act funding, we contacted all the townships to see if they had any budget proposals where they could use some of the funding. What's been great with the part of the benefit of the pandemic is the Zoom meetings, where you can frequently attend meetings without leaving your home, or you can do it at the comfort of your own home. The issue that Commissioner Jacob presents seems to be a trouble for him, but I haven't heard any trouble from anybody else. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will start with Steve Jacobs in the 3rd District. How would you approach difficult issues? Can you give us an issue that you perceive as difficult related to a passion you are seeking and how you would approach it?
I think the issue that brought me into county government 8 years ago was had been denied permits, and rather than just complain about the issue, I became involved in county government, and I introduced amendments to our zoning ordinance. I worked through that process for multiple years to get those all passed. We got them passed, and all the problems that we had through that property rights issue have now become I think quite well received by the county. There doesn't seem to be much controversy. I sit on the planning commission, and these things all stem from a passion that I had before I ran for office. So I respect people who, rather than complain, get involved and put their money where their mouth is, which is what I think I've done.
Thank you. Greg Olson, District 4.
I will use the current issue that we're dealing with, the jail. As you see, we have opposing views between two county commissioners sitting at this table. We put a jail study together. We looked at the numbers that we house in the jail. We looked at the programs that we have. All those numbers in that study is done. It's on our website. You can look at it. I've looked at it numerous times. I've presented that to the local landlord association so that they could look at it because they were opposed to building the jail. I've also set up a tour for the local landlord association to tour the existing facility. I think it's an example of how to take a difficult issue, educate yourself, educate the public, and bring it forward for a vote.
Thank you. Craig Zekas, 4th District.
I think one of the issues that I focused on and what brought me to run for County Commissioner of District 4 is the growth of the community, the county. And I've been asked that, I talked about many times out on the street. Why are you concerned about growth? Good luck. It's not going to happen here because there's been so many negative things happening within the county that have stopped the growth, prevented growth. At the present, I'm trying to build a relationship with an organization that reaches out to communities to help them grow in a proper way. And they've done so well that they brought numerous thousands of jobs to a handful of communities that are well-paying jobs. And they do it without destroying the countryside. They do it with conservation and appreciating the values that the area has at its time. So my goal right now is to go that direction.
Thank you. Our next question, take a breath. All right, we're at question 10. And we will start with Greg Olson and from the 4th District. What makes you qualified to run for your respective office?
I've served 12 years on the county board. Prior to that, prior to even putting my name on the ballot, I attended county board meetings for over a year. I took vacation from work to attend the meetings. I followed what was going on. I'm always involved in city government. I probably have a direct line of communication with the city manager and with city staff on issues within the city, within my district, and throughout Winona. So it's part of the original thing when I noticed there was a problem, something I didn't agree with, and I worked towards a solution. And that's what brings me to this table, and that's why I'm qualified. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Zekas, District 4.
Would you repeat the question again, please?
What makes you qualified to run for your respective office?
I think the biggest thing that makes me qualified is I live in District 4. I've been born and raised in the community of Winona. I've lived in the second ward the majority of my life, which is part of District 4. I'm told I've been successful in a number of businesses I've been involved in. I'm dedicated, I'm focused, I'm driven. And when I get involved in something, good things happen. I'm not the savior of the county or the savior of the city. I'm not Mr. Wonderful. You got to go to the Shark Tank for that. But I do get things done. And true leadership means getting involved and becoming involved in various activities and taking advantage of options out there and moving things forward. And that's what I'm capable of doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Jacobs, 3rd District.
Thank you. The main way you become qualified is earning the trust of the community to earn the votes to become elected. And so the community has entrusted me for the past 2 elections. They're entrusting me again this election. I've been dedicated to sitting on, I think I'm the most active county commissioner, sitting on the most committees. SW Soil and Water Conservation District Liaison, Planning Commission, Parks and Environmental Committee, AMC, Land Records. I take the job very seriously. I'm honored and humbled that the community has entrusted me to be their commissioner for the western part of Winona County. And it comes down to earning. Anyone is qualified who lives in the county, just as Mr. Zekas said, is that's how you become qualified and then become passionate and earn the trust of the people.
Thank you. Our next question, number 11. So we're starting with you, Mr. Craig Zekas from the 4th District. If you are elected, what Winona County, regional multi-county watersheds, and/or Minnesota Association of County Committees would you be interested in serving on?
I guess before I could answer that definitively, I'd have to find out more about what each of them are about. Water certainly would be an issue that I would be concerned about. Watersheds would allow me to learn a lot more about the rural part of the community, which I have become involved in. And over the years, I serviced those areas. I serviced Altura, Lewis, and St. Charles, Rolling Stone, La Crescent, Dakota, Nodine. I know people out in that area, and I can take a little bit of Winona with me to them. So to answer that question definitively, I would have to look into it a little bit deeper, but without question, I would be involved in 1, if not 2 or more of them.
Thank you. Got a little clanking of the heating system here. All right,
Big mice.
moving forward. Steve Jacob, 3rd District.
Hey, would you repeat that question one more time?
Certainly. If you are elected, what Winona County or regional multi-county watersheds or Minnesota Association of Counties committees would you be interested in serving on?
Sure, I'd want to continue on all the boards I currently sit on. I think I just went over some of those at the last question. The SWCD Planning Commission, Parks and Environmental Committee on the county level. I'm on the Parks or the Environmental and Environmental Committee at the AMC level. Land Records, Whitewater Joint Powers. I take all of that very seriously. I would continue serving in those positions, and I think that answers the question. I'm passionate about serving on those committees, and I don't really want to give them up.
Thank you. Greg Olson, 4th District.
Yeah, so I have worked for the city of Rolling Stone for over 10 years, managing their wells and their public works. I was licensed as a well operator and a water system operator for the Department of Natural Resources. I was also licensed with the MPCA for 10 years to operate the sewage treatment facility in Rolling Stone. I like to build upon my education and serve on those committees that I can best serve Winona. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question, number 12, will be starting with Steve Jacob from 3rd District. What are examples of teams that you have worked on? What are your strengths and areas for improvement when working on a team?
I've served on countless committees. Working with the Township Officers Association is very rewarding. It's been a little bit tough not being able to attend my local township meetings. Normally, about when we had the onset of the COVID issue, is as a farmer over the winter is the best time for me to attend the 16 township and city council meetings within my district. So I wasn't able to get out there and do that. Many of them, they didn't even have the meetings. A lot of them don't have the capabilities to have the Zoom meetings, and like the Township Officers Association, they've just been canceling some of those meetings for the entire organization. I'm sure their board is still carrying forward. Again, I think that about answers the question. So,
Okay. Thank you. Greg Olson, 4th District.
I have over 32 years of experience working in cities and county governments. I've been both a new employee and a seasoned employee, and now I'm a foreman. So throughout all those processes, you work with your fellow employees, you work on team building, team management, and you work to best serve the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Zekis, 4th District.
My team involvement has primarily been in the business world over the last 50 years. Biggest team I was on was with my father as we built our wholesale food service business in southeastern Minnesota. He's taught me a lot. He taught me how to work with people, how to deal with people. I was a sales manager of 7 different sales personnel, plus the office manager and general manager of our company. So I had approximately at one point 30 people underneath me, and I had to learn how to work with them and solve their problems as well as solving our company problems. I also was a part of a Blandon team, and in the Blandon organization, we formed a group that and won the city championship of creating a community that would be attractive to any number of people to come to it. So I do have team experience. I work with my wife in building our apartment business. We're landlords here in town, and we have a number of youth that fall underneath us. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will be starting with Greg Olson from the 4th District. Make sure I have the right one. What skills do you bring to the table to be able to evaluate budgets and make recommendations?
As I've worked 32 years in public and city government, I had to be on the opposite end of the budget because I was the budget presenter. I would have to provide budgets for my departments, for planned facility improvements, and I do that to this day. I meet with my supervisor at the Houston County, present my budget for anticipated work that's going to need to be done in the next year, and we compare that down and make sure that we cover all expenses, anticipate all expenses, and cover the taxpayers' expectations for that year. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Zekis, 4th District.
I believe my experience again in business gives me the opportunity to be able to handle budgets, as well as in my current life with our apartments. You have to have so much coming in to handle your expenses, and hopefully you've got a little bit left over that you can deal with future problems with. County budget is really no different than a small business or a business budget or a home budget. You just have to work through the numbers. You got to make sure that you got enough coming in to cover yourself and create a little bit of a cushion so that you can continue to grow and move forward.
Thank you. Steve Jacob from the 3rd District.
Thank you. I think as a owner of a farm, and 2 small businesses, Jacob Hill Estates and Quality Fire, what I ran for 25 years. So I understand small business, and along with understanding business and finances on a personal level, it's important to understand the quality people that you need to surround yourself with. And we've made great decisions at Winona County with the administrator we've got on board, our finance director, the county staff, understanding when you need help from which people and which people can put the county in a better position to work with those people. So I think I understand business relationships, people relationships, and parlay my small business endeavors into the bigger picture at the county.
Thank you. Our next question, we're starting with Craig Zekis from the 4th District. What are the barriers to growth in Winona County? How much do you want the county to grow?
Somebody's been listening because they're keying in on some things that I brought up. I appreciate that. And thank you for whoever asked that question. Some of the barriers, unfortunately, some of the barriers that prevent growth in Winona County are ourselves. We get caught up in some of the things in life that we want, and we don't maybe want to go beyond that. I've heard people say that there's no place for housing, no place to grow. There's plenty of places if you want to look at them, and if you want to be able to free up some areas for people to use the land at the best value that they're paying for. We have a wonderful county. We have a wonderful area. And I think we have, with my relationship I'm attempting to build, we have a great opportunity to bring people down and see what a wonderful community we have and join us for future growth.
Thank you. Steve Jacobs from the 3rd District.
Yeah, can I hear the question one more time?
Certainly. What are the barriers to growth in Winona County? How much do you want the county to grow?
Unlimited is how much I want the county to grow. The barriers are overbearing regulations, and that's something that I've worked on in the last 8 years in office. And I think the proof is in the pudding on my positions at the Planning Commission level. Nearly every application that comes through the Planning Commission, if I can figure out a way to support that application, I do. I don't say that I'm for one thing and against the other. I don't. If someone wants to do a solar plant, I do everything I can to get that solar plant approved. If they want to expand their property or their business in one manner or the other, I do everything I can to work with them to approve that. And I think you see some hypocrisy that comes out of some of either the members of the board or elsewhere. I mean, they'll support maybe a solar plant, but if a large dairy comes along, they don't want to support that. So.
Thank you. Greg Olson, 4th District.
Some of the biggest barrier we have right now facing us in Winona County is our aging workforce. We have manufacturers in Winona that can't find a workforce. They have idle assembly lines. Any industrial growth is going to have to work from one of our cities in the county because they're going to need city services. So with our aging workforce, lack of employees to serve existing jobs, we need to focus on not only retaining our students that are attending our universities, but making our community more receptive to allow and invite more people in. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we are nearing the end of our forum. We would like to ask each candidate to present a 1-minute closing remark, and we will begin with Steve Jacob from the 3rd District.
Thank you. In closing, I want to express that it's both an honor and a privilege to represent the great citizens of Winona County. It's humbling to be on the ballot to be your local District 3 representation in this time of uncertainty that we currently live in. While many things change and can be intimidating, some things stay the same. My vision for our future is unwavering. I will remain committed to empowering our citizens and containing our government. I will remain committed to protecting our environment while being respectful to business. I will work to unite Winona County to work towards stimulating responsible economic development, all while, as our letterhead says, making it a great day to live in Winona County. Thank you.
Thank you. Greg Olson from the 4th District, closing remark.
Once again, thank you to the league and co-sponsors. We can all agree that Winona County is a beautiful place to live and raise a family. We have a diverse agricultural and manufacturing economy, and we are fortunate to live within a unique but delicate ecosystem. I promote a sustainable future for our county, as is reflected in this Greek proverb. I shared this with you before. The society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. As a commissioner, I want my children's children to experience the same beauty that we all enjoy today. I want our county to experience sustainable growth that promotes a destination to enjoy. My name is Greg Olson. I ask for your vote in the November 3rd general election. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Sekis, 4th District.
I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's participated in this forum, especially those sending in the questions and those of you in the room that had to put up with us stumbling through them and battling through them, but it's now over and onward we go. I'm grateful to have the family I have, because if you put me in a position of county commissioner, you're going to get my family. We're a strong unit. We work together, we pray together, we play together. And when one needs help, we all jump in. And when one sees someone else needs help, we all join in as well. That's who you're going to get. So you're going to get what you see, and you're going to get a family behind it that's been established in this county since 1925. I look forward to being your commissioner. I look forward to working for you, with you, and beside you as we move forward in the next 4 years. My name is Craig Sekis, and I'm running for County Commissioner, District 4. Thank you.
Thank you. We are at the end of our time for this forum. We want to thank all the candidates for an informative event. Thank you very much. The League of Women Voters would also like to thank all of our co-sponsors, the Advocacy Center of Winona, AAUW Winona Branch, Home and Community Options, Project Mine, Winona Occupational Rehabilitation Services, WROC, and Winona State University Department of Social Work. We would also like to thank HBC for taping this educational forum. This forum in its entirety will be made available prior to the general election after all the League of Women Voters 2020 forums are completed and on the League of Women Voters Winona Facebook page. We'd like to share the dates and times of our upcoming candidate forums. Tomorrow evening, Tuesday, September 29th, from 5:30 to 6:30 will be the Minnesota Legislature House of Representatives, Districts 21B and 28A. And tomorrow night also from 7 to 8 p.m. will be the Minnesota Legislature, Senate Districts 21 and 28. Wednesday, September 30th from 5:30 to 6:30 will be the Winona Area Public Schools Districts 3, 4, and 5. These events will feature live government channel access on Spectrum Charter on channels 987 and HBC channel 19. A Zoom option is available on the City of Winona website calendar of events. Local print and radio media have also been provided publicity for all these opportunities. Voter registration. You may register to vote for the general election online at the Minnesota Secretary of State's office for the general election until October 13th, 2020. Check the Minnesota Secretary of State's website on the process, as several items for identification must be provided on election day to election judges. The Minnesota League of Women Voters.org is a website you may also use for general voter service information. If you need further information on becoming a registered voter, call the Winona County Auditor Treasurer or the Winona City Clerk offices. And voting from home, the League of Women Voters Minnesota and the League of Women Voters Winona, due to COVID-19, are supporting vote from home options. Registered voters may request a mail option ballot from the Minnesota Secretary of State's office website. The process is simple and easy. And the Minnesota League of Women Voters website also has a quick link and instructions on how you to receive your vote from home ballot. The option of registering to vote and requesting a ballot online closes on October 13, 2020. If a voter is concerned about mail-in ballots arriving to the Winona County Auditor Treasurer's Office, a drop-off box is available at the Winona County Government Center on Washington Street between 2nd and 3rd Streets on downtown Winona. The box is familiar as the tax drop-off box. Ballots must be dropped off by 3 p.m. the day of the election. One other option is you can vote early. Early voting at the Winona County Elections Office in the Office of the Auditor Treasurer began on September 21st, 2020. You go to the office located at 202 West 3rd Street in Winona, and the hours are Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30 p.m. The election staff will have you fill out a ballot request. You will need your driver's license or social security number to receive your ballot. Voting booths are there. You can vote with and hand in your ballot. Early voting is available until November 2nd, 2020 during regular business hours. Minnesota also has registration at the polls. So if you choose to register at the polls, you will need several items to verify your registration. Check the website at the Minnesota Secretary of State's office for details, as several items of identification must be provided on election day to election judges. And again, the League of Women Voters MN.org is a website you may use for general voter service information. If you need further information on becoming a registered voter, call the Winona County Auditor Treasurer or the Winona City Council office or clerk offices. Please vote. The general election is Tuesday, November 3rd. The polls are open from 7 a.m. through 8 p.m. Thank you and have a great evening. Thank you.